Oh, we're just singing here. This is the Fanatical Browns pregame show. I'm John. That's Steve. Welcome aboard. Go Brownies. They got a big game later this evening. We're coming to you huge. We're coming a little early this afternoon, but hey, they're already partying in the Muni lot, according to family and friends. It's an exciting day in Cleveland. They have an opportunity tonight to lock up a playoff spot against the Jets. It's a little dreary up here in the Ohio area today, a little drizzle, a little cool air has flown in. 40, it's like I'm in Columbus right now. I'm going up to the game here and after we get off the air. But yeah, it's exciting time. Steve, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good morning from Nashville. I'm still got 10 minutes till
you still have 10 minutes
till Eastern Standard Time, till noon. I'm on Central Time, but everything's going great. It's overcast, and we're going to get some rain and snow showers tomorrow here in Nashville.
Snow showers. Ooh.
Yeah, you know, it was 68 degrees on Monday. It was 55 when we got back from North Carolina yesterday. Nothing's going to happen with it. Ground's got to be frozen for 48 hours for it to stick.
Right.
So we're good. The only thing I worry about is every time a weather person down here says, it's not going to be anything. At least one event during the winter, it turns into something really, really big something. But this isn't going to be much of anything.
This is
nippy outside. I think it's like 30 something degrees, and the wind, it's pretty cold.
Well, we're not bringing the weather reports here, but we do like talking about the weather because it does affect what happens here up here in Cleveland.
Big game.
We're all excited. Browns fans are united. We're all wearing our gear already. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to wear tonight because it's one of those days where it's like it's not super cold in Cleveland. It'll be like 45 degrees, but there could be a little drizzle in the air. Right up there along the lake shore. You just never know. So, how many layers am I supposed to wear? Right now I've got 2. I probably got 3 or 4. I'm thinking, do I wear my coat? Do I not wear my coat? The thing is, my coat's black, but they want to do like a whiteout tonight. They want the fans to wear their white stuff. And then because the Browns are going to be in their all white uniforms and the white helmets.
Love those things.
And so I'm excited to see that. I'm hearing rumors that the Browns captain prior to the game that hits the breaks up the guitar will be Nick Chubb. Are you hearing that?
It won't be Nick Chubb.
It will not be Nick Chubb. Okay.
No, man, he's on crutches.
I know. Well, you know how social
odds
media
on
gets.
favorite odds on favorite is right now Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. Okay, I like it.
That's the betting odds favorite.
Speaking of
welcome to the Fanatical Elves Network, your gambling connection. But anyway.
No, it's great. Paul Brown, not the one who created the Browns, but our famous Browns fan.
Oh yeah, he was already hitting the Jägermeister this afternoon for him.
Nice. Well, I'm hitting the Diet Coke right now, but we'll see how that changes later on this evening. But thanks again, everybody who's tuning in live. We are live this afternoon on our networks, on YouTube, here on the X, Facebook. Spread the word, spread the love. Tell everybody about the Fanatical Elves. Steve and I are part of the crew. We've got Elliot. We've got Joel, the left guard. We got Rod Bloom. We got Sammy down there. Sammy Davis. No, not Sammy Davis. Sammy down there in Texas. So we all have a variety of shows. Steve brings his Dog Pound South shows every week. We love those, Steve. Thank you. You bring a unique perspective of things that are going on outside of the Cleveland area. You're kind of a Browns backer down there in Tennessee, and kind of get a feel for Browns fans worldwide. So you're excited. I know we're ready to go tonight. The Jets coming into this game, Elliot and I were talking about this yesterday. 6-9 on the season, struggling. They did win last week, and the Jets
did a terrible Washington team, and they gave up a huge lead. I mean, come on.
They don't really have much of a quarterback, and their offensive line is in disarray. But
disarray.
They're 6-9. They're struggling. But I just don't want Browns fans and ourselves to kind of we still got to play a football game tonight, and it's going to be under the national spotlight. And the Browns have been done well this season. They've pulled off some really good wins the last 2 weeks. I expect them to come out and play well. I expect Myles Garrett, to continue doing what he's doing on defense, and the Browns defense to continue to do what they're doing. Knowing that Jim Schwartz is back there as the defensive coordinator has to give all Browns fans, and me included, some, feeling some, confidence going into a game, even though it's a short week. What are your initial takes, Steve, on this short week's game, and what do you expect to see tonight out of the Brownies?
Well, first of all, Browns activated the new punter and kicker, Matt Hack and Riley Patterson.
Okay.
And those are the only two people they activated. They didn't activate former Buckeye Tanner McAllister, which tells me Juan Thornhill is probably going to play.
Oh, that's a good point.
So number two, Stefanski is very good on short weeks. He'll have his team ready to play. This Jets with Trevor Siemian offense, they do have a few pieces, but their offensive line is graded the worst offensive line by Pro Football Focus. And that's saying a lot because I thought the Tennessee Titans offensive line was the worst. So that tells you exactly what Jim Schwartz has in front of him. I expect, even though, it's been like 5 games since Myles Garrett has gotten a sack. Last 3 games, he's had 26 pressures. Last 2 games, he's had 19 pressures. So he's putting the pressure on, and they're having to slide people over to chip him and double team him, which is leaving other people available. Right. So I fully expect the defense to be hungrier than usual. They know what's at stake. They want to clinch a playoff spot in front of their home crowd.
Absolutely.
As for offense, the Jets are a lot better than a lot of people think. When you talk about secondaries, number 1, number 2, it's either the Browns or Jets. Mm-hmm. And they're good because they feed off their defensive line, who does bring pressure, and their linebackers are good. C.J. Mosley. I mean, I remember a time when the Browns were thinking about trying to sign him, and the Jets snagged him up. So. If the Browns can get to a good sized lead, I think the Jets will start making their travel plans to Cancun, and that game should be over.
Let's hope that is the case. The fans, I'm sure, they're already getting excited. We mentioned already they're starting the party down there at the Muni lot, and I got to give it up to the Browns fans. United, we are just one of the best fan bases in the world. And it'll be very exciting down there at the stadium. Can't wait to get down there in a few hours. Still got to drive a couple hours here from Columbus, so I'm not looking forward to that. But, as far as the Browns are concerned going into this game, let's talk a little bit about Amari Cooper, Joe Flacco, and that offense, David Njoku. Amari's coming off a great game. He is listed as questionable.
He's got a heel injury.
A heel, yeah. When he
caught a game time decision right now.
When he caught that pass for the touchdown early on in that game, the 75-yarder, I think.
Yeah, he pulled up.
He did.
I was watching the game on my laptop in North Carolina, and my wife always watches with me, and we both kind of went, "Did he?" Kind of limp there at the end, and she noticed it right away, and she goes, "Oh gosh, no."
Oh, that's Browns fans though for you. That really is. But I think he'll play. We'll see. It would be disappointing if he weren't. But they're very popular now. Amari Cooper, Joe Flacco. They made it to Nickelodeon's Slime Fest yesterday, which is pretty cool. You've made it when you've been slimed, and Joe Flacco got slimed, which is pretty cool. Joe Flacco just throwing the ball 40 times plus. 38 years old, going to be 39 on January 16th. Does not look like he's slowing down. What are your expectations from Joe today? Do you expect much of the same that we've seen in the first 4 games that he's quarterbacked?
Yeah, I expect it. I would hope that we don't have any turnovers, no interceptions. Although the one in the end zone, if the kicker hadn't been hurt, he wouldn't have been throwing that ball. And the other one, the defense kind of let a pass interference get out of the way, because if you notice, Goodwin was turning around to get the ball, and the DB grabbed his arm.
Yes.
Yeah, after those 3 stupid penalties that they called on Emerson, I thought, well, if we're going to get touchy-feely, let's throw something on that bad boy too. But I don't expect him to slow down at all. Like I said, this secondary is very, very good. And it's surprising to me that he is so good in play action, and the Browns are struggling to run the ball. That you think about that, and you look at that. Well, if they're running the ball well, play action is supposed to work the best, but they're not running the ball that well. Yet this guy is like a master in play action.
Yeah,
and he is just feasting.
I think some of it is just his experience. He's a big size, 6'6" guy. I think that's a little bit different than what we've seen in other quarterbacks that the Browns have rolled out there. Now, obviously, I don't want to speculate. PJ Walker is the backup tonight going into this game. And, obviously Joe Flacco, knock on wood, will stay healthy, but his man is 38 years old. Anything can happen on the NFL football field. I know people are nervous about bringing PJ along or bringing him back. A lot of people didn't realize that Dorian Thompson-Robinson got bent backwards like a pretzel last week.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
It was, so I'm glad that his leg didn't break off.
The next time the Browns got the ball, a lot of people, they put the starters back in. Everybody was thinking, well, the second team defense gave up 2 quick touchdowns, and they got, and the special teams gave up an onside kick. So Stefanski's making a statement. No, DTR was hurt.
You think that was really the reason? Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, he's on IR with a hip injury, and you can see how he got bent back. So,
I think Dorian Thompson, going forward, obviously he's not going to play this year. We'll be talking about this throughout the spring and the summer months going into next year. The way it looks right now, Deshaun is our guy, but there's a lot of people out there that are just clamoring over Flacco-mania right now and want to bring him back in a backup role. Do you think there's any possibility of that happening going in the next year?
Depends on who offers him a starting role.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Jacoby Brissett. He went to a situation in Washington, and now he's back to starting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Would Flacco want to be a backup here? I don't think so.
Sure.
He loves the situation. And
it's a great situation.
I hate to tell everybody this, but Deshaun Watson is going to be your starting quarterback through 2025.
Yeah.
That's the way the contract works. So,
but let me ask you this. So, Denver, not to throw kind of through the whole situation in Denver that took place yesterday with Russell Wilson being benched because they want to protect him from being injured so that they don't have to pay him $37 million. Is that the story? Or okay. And
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Our Browns fans, I agree, Steve, what your assessment there and what we will see next year. But, what if Flacco wins a playoff game, wins the second playoff game, and somehow the Browns are right there on the cusp? I don't know, man. It's like surreal.
DTR is the future, so he's going to be your backup.
Oh, I agree with that. Okay.
So, and I got a feeling somebody out there is going to offer Flacco a starting position, probably one of these teams. And, he's got to decide if he wants to do it. Does he want to go to a really, really bad team who's getting a rookie quarterback?
Well, that's what happened with the Jets in the past. They talked about that. Yeah. He went to the Jets last year and then that didn't work out. But now he's in a situation where he's with a good team. He has a team that's got a really good defense led by Myles Garrett. And, thus this turnaround.
Well, I personally, I think if he does play again, he'll play for another team. I can't see him coming back on the Browns. They've committed to DTR. And, if he hadn't gotten hurt in that Denver game, who knows what would have happened because he was starting to click.
Yes.
So.
But it's funny. It's scary funny when like even my dad, this is an observation from somebody, we don't follow, he doesn't follow the game much, but he was like, when they put DTR in, he says, he just doesn't look anything like a quarterback like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco just looks like he knows what he's doing out there. So, I mean, that's just from somebody, these are just common fans that are watching
on this hand, you have a rookie. On this hand, you have a 15-year veteran who won a Super Bowl. And so
right.
They have faith in DTR.
Yes. Well, the story will continue tonight. Now, if the Browns, let's take a quick break here on the Fanatical Elves. This is our pregame show. We'll be right back. Did you like those commercials, Steve?
Love those commercials.
So
absolutely
we're talking.
Love them.
So this game tonight. Okay. So the Browns' playoff chances are really high right now. That they're locked in. If they win the game, they're locked in. They have the 11 wins.
They're locked into the 5th seed, and they've clinched the playoff spot.
Are they locked in permanently to the 5th seed if they win tonight?
Their odds are incredibly high that's where they'll end up.
Okay,
now
so
they still have a shot. They still have a shot at the number 1 seed, but Baltimore has to lose twice. And Buffalo has to beat Miami.
Yes.
And the Browns have to go to Cincinnati and win. Now, if Baltimore loses this weekend, I have a feeling next week because let's see, Baltimore plays Miami this week.
Miami, right.
And then Miami ends up against Buffalo, and Baltimore ends up against Pittsburgh. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to root for Pittsburgh. And if Pittsburgh can beat Baltimore, then that means Mike Tomlin will finish with a winning record again, and I will have I'll pound my head against the wall because I've been predicting he wouldn't all year. But hey, if it means the Browns can get the number 1 seed, I will eat crow.
Well, okay, so
wholeheartedly, I will come on the air and say I was wrong.
Okay, anyway. To get the number 1 seed, that means that they also would win the division.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's if Baltimore loses twice.
Better AFC record than Baltimore.
Okay. So Baltimore has to lose twice. And the Bengals.
Browns have to beat the Bengals. Baltimore has to lose their last 2 games.
Yeah, and Miami
and Pittsburgh. And then Miami, the last game of the season, has to lose to Buffalo.
Okay.
Which
and that
I got
game
a feeling that might happen.
Yeah. But, I mean, our hopes really hinge on this Dolphins-Ravens game this week, where the Dolphins have to go into Baltimore.
If Baltimore beats Miami, forget it.
Yeah.
Browns will have locked in the 5th seed, number 1 wild card team, and travel to the AFC South champion, which is still a little bit up in the air right now.
Absolutely.
Jacksonville is favored, then comes Indy, and then come the Texans. And if those things don't work, there's still a possibility they would have to play at Baltimore or at Kansas City. But those odds are like 12% and 10%.
But that's if they fall to 6 or 7.
No, that's if they stay at 5.
Okay, let me ask you this.
We still got 2 weeks to go and games happening.
Okay, but I thought the 4th seed was locked in at the AFC.
Not locked into the AF South yet, because no, they've got to play each other. I mean, Jacksonville has to travel here to Nashville the last game of the season. Gosh only knows how that's going to happen. I mean, who knows with the Titans? They take Houston to overtime and they go down to Miami and beat Miami. I mean, it's unpredictable. But Jacksonville right now, they've lost how many in a row? And
4. They've lost 4 in a row.
And Sunshine is dealing with shoulder problems.
Yeah, they're 8-3, and now they're 8-7. Yep, they've lost 4 games, 4 games in a row. So I mean, fans of the Browns would.
They could be going back to Indy to play the first playoff game.
Now, but there's really no scenario that the Browns get a home playoff game in this first round. Is there any?
Not at a wild card.
So they have to basically get the 1 seed and get the number 1 in the AFC North.
If they get the 1 seed,
win the division,
and they're AFC champions, they get to bye the first week of the playoffs.
Which is crazy to think that there's more of an option. So either they get locked in at the 5 and they have to travel to one of these cities, or they
Right.
get jump up to the 1 seed. So there's a real dramatic shift there.
This weekend, very important games happening.
Yes.
I know the Browns
Well,
are
and the
playing
nice thing for
tonight.
the Browns is that they can do this tonight and settle back and see how it all spins out. And if it doesn't spin out like they can't get the 1 seed, they're going to have to travel on the road. But we've won on the road in 2020. We went back to Pittsburgh and beat them in a playoff game. I know
Yeah.
it was the COVID year, but the Browns have done well on the road, and I fully suspect that this team will be ready to go. And any one of these other teams, especially from the AFC South, have already lost, and Kevin Stefanski's done a hell of a job against the AFC South.
He's
And
undefeated.
I would suspect that will continue if they play their cards right. Now, after that, if they can beat that 4 seed, let's say that they go in and then
If they're the
do they
4
get
seed and they go on the road and beat, then everything gets reseeded.
Oh, okay.
So
So
let's see how it all. I don't want to get too far ahead because that bad karma. Let's deal with
right.
tonight first, and this weekend, and hopefully things will go the Browns' way. But
Absolutely.
there is a potential
Let me ask
for a home playoff game in the future if everything goes their way.
I'm going to throw a question at you just off the cuff here. Thinking back to this season, all season long, and we're approaching the end of the Browns season. What's a highlight or two for you, offensively or defensively, that you really feel kind of highlighted, kind of who the Browns are? I'll start just by throwing out the Baltimore game and that comeback win, and seeing the offensive lineman push. I don't know whoever it was. That was a real highlight. Kind of
Jerome Ford.
That really showed me, the spirit. Several of those players are no longer playing. They're sidelined with IR injuries, like Jedrick Wills and things like that. But that was a really cool. I didn't think the Browns had it in them. They were able to come back and beat a very good Baltimore Ravens team that we see now. What are any moments stand out to you that you think back to this season? And I mean, we're 10-5. We've had a lot of great moments.
Well, that game, just the fourth quarter, Deshaun Watson showed what he can do. Perfect. And then when things broke down, he would run. Got that first down, got it close to field goal range, and he showed what this team could be like with him at quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'll take the Joe Flacco stuff. I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, he's got the hot hand because he's the healthiest quarterback in the NFL right now. And defensively, I could go to the very first game. At the end of that game, when Myles Garrett sacked the Golden Boy and put an end to that game. That game told me exactly what this defense could do from the very start when Zadarius Smith hit Joe Burrow's arm on the very first play, and then Myles Garrett ended it.
Yeah.
So, and then even the backups, like the Chicago game. I mean, you got Cameron Mitchell coming in, tripping up Justin Fields on fourth, and he did not make the first down because that shoestring tackle, and they were down 17-7 at that point. So, and that led to the big comeback. Lots of big comebacks, and of course, the biggest thrill is not worrying about the kicker.
Yes. Now tonight we will have a different kicker, Riley Patterson. Kicking, and he played. Many people might not know this, but he was pretty much a regular for the Lions. The Lions draft a new kid who's coming in now, thus why they put Patterson on their practice squad in Detroit. The Browns grabbed him this week, and he'll be kicking tonight. And
no, they cut him.
They cut him. Okay.
They cut him. He missed 2 extra points, and then they cut him.
Right.
So he was kicking for him, and he was doing really well.
He was doing well.
He missed 2, I think, back-to-back extra points, and they just cut him. He was sitting on the sofa.
Yes. So I think it's a good move by the Browns. I think it's a guy that's played already. He's, we'll see how much we need him tonight. Obviously, we won't probably be going for every fourth down. Anxious to kind of see how Stefanski plays his hand tonight. with the new kicker. I'm sure he'll be
Well, as
kicking.
soon as he got into town, they sent him over to the stadium to start practicing. So I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of excitement. Steve, final thoughts before we let you go here on our pregame show. We'll be coming to you later tonight too, with some type of postgame show to everybody. I'll be coming back from the stadium. We'll see what we can get out to you guys, but we'll have something that we'll post back to you, everybody. It might just be a video after the show with me. So we shall see. But final thoughts, Steve.
I look for the Browns to win tonight. I think the stadium is going to be electric. The defense is going to feed off of that. This Jets offense is terrible. Their offensive line is just terrible.
So when they go up and they score a touchdown early on, Browns fans will be freaking out. Is that?
I don't think they're going to score a touchdown early on. My only problem is the Jets defense is a lot better than 6-9. And they're healthy. So we'll see what happens with Flacco and the offense. I know that Kevin Stefanski, and I keep referencing that 2020 Bengals-Browns game, first home game after getting blown out in Baltimore. They came back, and he totally changed the offense, and it was like an arcade game. It was like a video game, the way they were scoring. So I have faith in him. And in Joe Flacco, and hopefully Amari Cooper will play. I think Elijah Moore will have a big game. David Njoku and Flacco seem to be on the same page. I want to see more backside runs by Jerome Ford. With this kind of pressure the Jets bring, you can't take advantage of them there. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a Browns win. They're 7.5-point favorites. So,
all right. Steve, very good. Thank you so much for being here. Go Browns tonight. The Browns play the Jets tonight. The game starts about 8:15 on Amazon Prime. So hopefully you get an opportunity. I know the fans in Cleveland, the local TV channel 5.
Channel 5 is showing it.
Will be WEWS will be showing that game for you locally. I don't think down here in Columbus you have to watch it at a sports bar or on Prime if you got it here in the Columbus area. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Get hyped, man. It's going to be a great night for Browns fans as they go play the Jets tonight. We're looking forward to a playoff bid. Browns fans united. It's great to be a Browns fan. This season has been just a fun from start to finish. It's been ups and downs, but Flacco mania right now. Amari Cooper coming off an amazing performance. Just a lot of excitement. And so enjoy it, Browns fans. Really enjoy it. Everybody take care. Go Browns. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.